Hi, summer students. It's Professor Amy, and I'm here to talk to you about annotating. So annotating is a way for you to interact with the reading while you're reading it. It can help you stay focused and help you remember more of what you read and also help you take notes. Now, in this class, for all of your essays, you are always going to use quotes. In fact, for the rest of college, you are always going to have to use what you read, whether you use it because you have to do a writing assignment or because you have a test on it, whatever it is, you're going to need to be able to use it. So annotating can help make your reading time more worthwhile. If you've ever had the experience of reading something and you immediately forget everything you just read, annotation can help. And I have had that experience a lot, so I know exactly what it's like. So on the screen here, you see a handout from the University of North Carolina about annotating. And I'm going to put this link in Blackboard, and you should go take a look at it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now because you can take a look at it and read it on your own. But it does talk about how to annotate, and it gives you some examples of what annotation can look like. So that's really good. Go check that out. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to actually annotate with you. We're going to do one of our reading assignments. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to hypothesis. So hypothesis is, I want to come over here. So what I did was I Googled the word hypothesis annotation. And this is an extension that you can put in your Chrome browser. And if none of this makes sense to you, don't worry, you don't have to use this. If you're technically comfortable enough, like if you're comfortable enough with the technology to add this to your Chrome browser, it's a great tool. If you're not, don't worry, you don't need to use it. So I looked up hypothesis annotation, and here I come to hypothesis, and it will take you to this page that tells you what hypothesis is, and you can create an account, and it's free, and you can get started, and hypothesis will let you annotate stuff, annotate web pages, and so it's really useful. So I'm now going to go to the reading for this week, and I am going to turn on hypothesis to show you how to annotate. So for me, there's this little puzzle piece up here. I'm going to come here and I'm going to turn on hypothesis, and it's going to open up, and now I'm going to be able to annotate the reading. But like I said, if you're not comfortable using that tool, that's fine. You don't have to. You can also just write stuff down while you're reading. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to read, and you're going to underline things that you think are important, that jump out at you. And you're going to make notes about stuff that you have questions about. And you're going to react to the reading and be like, what does this mean? Or, wow, that's really important. Or this connects with with my own experience. Or this relates to what I think about this. So you're going to be taking notes on what you think is important. And you're going to be asking questions about stuff that you need to ask some questions about, and you're going to be reacting and saying what you think about the reading. And that's what you're going to do in your annotating. You can either do it in hypothesis, or you can write stuff down on a piece of paper. You can write down quotes and then write down next to that quote what you think about it. So maybe you would have, like, either on paper or on a Word or in a Word document, you would have a part where you have the quote, and then you would have a part where you write about the quote. And you are then going to use those quotes in your essay that is going to be due like next week. It comes up really, really fast. So let's jump right in and do some reading and annotating. So here's one of the readings for this week, and it's called "How Much Has Your Zip Code Determined Your Opportunities? To what extent has where you were born and where you've grown up affected who you are?" And this is from the New York Times by Nicole Daniels. And I'm going to go ahead and start reading and see if I can annotate while I read. How much do you think the quality of your education, your extracurricular opportunities, your health, and your options after high school are tied to where you live? How do you think your life would be different if you grew up in another neighborhood where you had more or fewer opportunities? I'm gonna highlight that because I think this is a really important question that they're asking. So I'm highlighting that. Okay, oh, it's telling me I need to log in. So there we go, now I'm logged in. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight that. Without fixing inequality, the schools are always going to struggle. Laura Kelly shares the responses of 8 teachers to the question, do children's zip codes at birth determine their futures? Okay, so there's something I want to point out to you here. This is citing. This is what we call citing, where she says in and gives the name of the article she's referring to and the name of the article. Notice it's in quotes and the words in the article are all capitalized. That's really important. In this class, we're going to talk about that as MLA format, and you always need to do that. So it says in, it has the name of the article and then the author's name. So that was just a side note about MLA format. We're going to keep reading now. We are seeking a direct view into how such factors determine outcomes for America's young people and the role that schools play in helping overcome them. We ask teachers in cities across the country to share the experience of how the neighborhood that children are born into affects their futures. Over 500 teachers wrote in. So nothing is really jumping out at me. And by the way, this is already the 3rd time I'm reading this. So before I even started annotating, I read the whole thing just to kind of get a sense of it. Without like taking any notes or anything, I just read it once through quickly just to get a sense of what's going on. And now I'm going to annotate it. So you should do that too. This is a pretty short article. So you should read it once through just to kind of like get the lay of the land and then start annotating. All of the teachers we heard from went out of their way to praise the hard work and talents of their students. Okay, that's nice. I'm going to highlight that because I like that. But each also discussed the challenges that students in low-income schools face that students in wealthy zip codes do not, including one tied tightly to place, high rates of asthma due to living in polluted areas. So I'm going to highlight that because that seems like that might be important. I'm not like responding yet. Right now I'm just like looking at stuff that's important. I haven't actually taken any notes yet, though. Jay Wamstad, a high school math teacher in Atlanta, responded to the question by saying, past and present racism still determine too much of my students' futures. Race shapes the map of Atlanta. Those school lines were drawn by race and still drawn along neighborhood lines that are tracked by race. Okay, that's really important. I am definitely grabbing that, and I'm annotating that. And I'm going to move my box over here so you can see. Okay, so wait, you still can't see because of the way this is working. Let me come down here. Okay, now you'll be able to see. I want to make a note about this, like, why is racism tied to zip code and determining futures, and school zone lines are drawn by race. Like, what does that mean? I want to know, what does that mean? And is this also true around here in Mercer County? Right? I'm thinking like I'm just going to put a bunch of questions because I want to know. I might write more, but I don't want this video to take forever. I teach in Southwest Atlanta. Most of my students are Black. Almost everybody receives free or reduced price lunch. There's a public high school 2 zip codes over in a whiter, richer part of town. It would be our rival high school if it existed in the same world as us at all, but it doesn't. I'm going to grab that too, because it's really important. I think what he says there, I want to make a note, existed in the same world at all. That seems really important to me. Like these schools just like are in completely different worlds. That seems true for Mercer County as well. See, I had a typo there, but who cares? Right? So, like, to me, it seems like Trenton and Princeton are like completely different worlds. Okay, and maybe even Trenton and Lawrenceville. I don't know. I want to know what you think about that. All right, I'm going to keep going for just a little bit longer. I have taught many children that fought their way through and have gone on to do amazing things. Many wonderful, brilliant kids have come to my school, but those stories just happen less than the stories that would happen in the wealthy part of town. If you look at all the metrics like test scores, high school graduation, college graduation, future employment, all of that just tracks worse for students in my zip code. Okay, so that seems important too. I'm going to highlight that. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to go through the whole article because I know long videos can be pretty tedious, but you get the idea that I'm reading, I'm asking questions, I'm thinking about it, and I'm reacting. Some stuff I'm just like highlighting because it's important. Some stuff I'm asking questions about. Sometimes I might ask a question about what a word means or what a particular sentence means. That's the idea with annotating. So that is what you are doing this week. We are going to work on this all semester. Everything you read, you're going to annotate. So have fun with it. Take a look at that handout. Give it a try. If you can use hypothesis, great. If you can go print out the readings, that's terrific. It's really easy to do that. If you go to like Staples or FedEx, it's really easy to print out and only costs a few dollars. And then you can do it with like pen. Or you could try to copy and paste the reading into a Word document and use the word tools, or you can just take notes on paper. So that's annotating. Have a great rest of your day.